Hey everyone, and welcome to this explainer. Today, we're driving right into something that's probably been blowing up your feeds lately: South Africa's new crypto capital flow regulations. Look, whether you're a financial advisor managing heavy portfolios or just an everyday person holding some Bitcoin to, survive this wild economy, the rules of the game are shifting. But don't worry, we're going to break the whole shebang down together.
We've all seen those flashing, kind of terrifying headlines, right? SA, crypto laws are changing. Are your digital assets safe? It's a heavy question, and honestly, it's totally understandable if it's got you stressing a bit. But let me promise you right out of the gate, this explainer, it's a completely panic-free zone. We're going to strip away all that anxiety, look strictly at the facts, and figure out exactly what this new normal actually looks like, so you can walk away feeling absolutely secure about your assets.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here's our roadmap for today. First, we'll cover updating the 1961 rules. Then, we are debunking that massive seizure myth. After that, we'll look at how crypto is now officially capital, followed by the role of CASPs. And finally, we'll break down the timeline ahead.
All right, Part 1. Updating the 1961 rules, entering the digital era.
For the longest time, moving digital assets across borders, well, it felt a bit like the Wild West, didn't it? And there's a reason for that. We've literally been operating under exchange control laws from 1961. Think about that. We've been trying to govern borderless, decentralized digital assets using a rule book written decades before the internet was even a spark of an idea. It's crazy. But that era of quietly moving assets offshore in the shadows, it's officially coming to a close with the new 2026 Draft Capital Flow Management Regulations. We are finally stepping into the modern era.
Moving right along to Part 2. Debunking the seizure myth. Fact versus fiction.
Okay, I want to slow down our pacing right here just for a second to tackle a massive rumor head-on. You've probably seen the social media posts asking this genuinely terrifying question: is the government seizing your crypto? Recently, a leaked regulatory clause sparked an absolute wave of panic across the country. It basically suggested that the government could force you to sell your crypto to the Treasury within 30 days. And look, if you're an ordinary citizen using digital assets just to protect your hard-earned savings from inflation, that sounds incredibly alarming.
But seriously, I need everyone watching to just take a deep breath. On May 15th, the Treasury stepped in with a massive clarification. They explicitly stated, forced sales will not apply to everyday holders. They are strictly reserved for criminal offenses. Boom. That definitive statement absolutely squashes the rumor. Your assets are not being retroactively targeted. The Treasury made it crystal clear that all this widespread fear is completely misplaced.
So, the government has basically drawn a giant line in the sand here. On one side, you have everyday holders, ordinary citizens, and financial advisors managing legitimate client funds. You guys are safe. Your assets are secure. On the other side, targeted actions are strictly, and I mean strictly, reserved for criminal offenses. They are just trying to root out the bad actors, not penalize honest folks participating in the digital economy. You can feel entirely empowered knowing your legitimate bags remain yours.
Which brings us to Part 3. Crypto is now capital, the regulatory net. So the really crucial point here is this brand new, officially recognized classification. Under the 2026 draft regulations, crypto is now officially, legally recognized as capital. Now, for the financial advisors tuning in, this is exactly the precise legal definition you've been waiting for, so you can actually advise your clients properly. And for everyday holders, it means crypto is no longer floating around in some sketchy regulatory gray area. It's been brought directly into the South African Reserve Bank's regulatory net. It's being treated with the exact same structural oversight as any traditional financial asset.
To put that into perspective, it's actually really simple. Moving digital assets offshore now faces the exact same scrutiny as sending rand out of a normal bank account. Just think about how you currently manage foreign investment allowances when dealing with rands. Got it? Okay, well that exact same logic and those exact same limits now apply to your Bitcoin, your BNB, or whatever else you might be holding. The old loophole of bypassing capital controls just by using crypto, yeah, that's closing for good. Digital assets are officially part of the mainstream financial system.
All right, Part 4. The role of CASPs, the new gatekeepers.
So if moving crypto is now treated just like traditional banking, you might be wondering, well, who acts as the bank? You absolutely need to anchor this acronym into your brain right now. CASP. It stands for Crypto Asset Service Provider. A CASP is an authorized entity that's required to report or even pre-approve your offshore crypto transfers. Essentially, these platforms are the new gatekeepers. Moving forward, you can't just bypass the system anymore. You've got to go through a compliant, authorized CASP to move your digital wealth out of the country legally.
And this brilliantly illustrates the simplified flow of how your money will actually move under these new rules. It's a three-step process. Step 1, you initiate the transfer. Step 2, your authorized CASP steps in to monitor and pre-approve it. And Step 3, once it's totally cleared, the transfer successfully hits the global market. It's basically a structured, legally sound pipeline designed to ensure every single step is fully compliant and accounted for.
So, what exactly are these CASPs doing behind the scenes? Well, first off, they are actively monitoring all cross-border transfers. Second, they're making sure your specific transfers align strictly with your individual foreign investment allowances. But here's the absolute biggest thing. They must report this data to align South Africa with global anti-money laundering standards. This whole thing, it's really just about elevating South Africa's financial system so it can actually integrate safely and transparently with international regulations.
Let's head into our final section, Part 5, the timeline ahead, preparing for 2026.
We're looking at a very specific timeline here. As we mentioned, on May 15th, we got that incredibly vital Treasury clarification protecting everyday holders. But what's really crucial for the industry right now is the June 30th date. See, there was some major pushback from the crypto industry. They really wanted to ensure these rules were actually workable, so the public comment deadline was extended to June 30th. On top of that, we are still waiting on a pending manual that's going to define exactly how all these new rules apply to notoriously complex decentralized networks, so lots of moving parts still.
So, what's the real bottom line you should take away from all of this? Simply put, you've got to make sure you are using secure, compliant tools and really prioritizing your education as these changes roll out. Whether you're a financial advisor aggressively looking out for your clients or just an everyday citizen managing your own portfolio to survive and thrive in today's economy, being proactive is hands down your best strategy. Go out, find those authorized CASPs, and make absolutely sure you understand the specific allowances tied to your name.
We've covered a ton of ground today, and honestly, it all leads back to one unavoidable truth. Compliance is no longer optional in South Africa. So I'm going to leave you with this question to chew on. Are your digital assets ready for 2026? I highly encourage you to drop your thoughts, your concerns, or any lingering questions right down in the comments. Let's navigate this crazy transition together, keep our assets totally safe, and make sure our strategies are brilliantly compliant. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer. Stay focused and keep learning.